him with another level. That's a solid plan. I'm going to stick to it. Alright, everyone's leveled. Let's get moving. We ain't got time to rest. We got to move. We got to mosey. We got to beat the dredge. The caravan halts when a group of men appear on the trail, weapons at their feet. We've seen the dredge in your wake, says one. We don't wish to meet them alone. If you'll let us join you, we'll show you a watering hole with enough animals to fill those supply wagons. An inherent fear of strangers raises, mutters from the caravan. Allow the men to join you, ask no questions. I do not matter if they are brigands or bandits. They are men offering help. If you'll be no trouble, then come along, you say. And the men cautiously join the ranks and prove trustworthy. The hidden watering hole is nearby, teeming with animals, and soon your supplies are nicely restocked. Ah, we have supplies. We have food. We have fighters. Good. Let's press on. We should rest to recover morale. Morale has become poor. During a rest, one of the men gets too drunk and ends up splashing mead in a warrior's face. A brawl erupts, many fists thrown, and a broken bone later. The instigator, or Affensvater, is tossed to the ground at your feet. Angry clansmen look for satisfaction. His personal defense is little more than drooling mumbles. We have no time for this matter. Tie him up until he dries out. Coerce a public apology from him. Coerce a public apology from him. He must apologize for, starting this. Or laugh off the scuffle. Like, because we could make light of this situation, but I know what's going to happen. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. So we'll get him to say sorry. And we'll do something worse if he keeps up this behavior. Coerce a public apology from him. Grabbing Raffenseer's neck, you force him to look at the crowd. Apologize for this mess, you demand. The man babbles until you squeeze harder. Sorry, he yells repeatedly. Even after you let him go, folks shake their head, but leave the man alone. The morale has declined. We have weak morale, but we must press on. The caravan is visibly relieved to find a small village on the way to Frostvella with beds and fresh supplies. The locals here are shocked by the news. You bring and discuss it amongst themselves while you set up nearby. Okay, so there's a small village here, so we can actually camp out a bit, and hopefully everyone will kind of be chill. So this is the map. So we can see we're heading for Frostvella because Frostvella has walls. So Frostvella is actually here on the road. Okay. So it's not so far along. We should be able to make it. Let's check the market. Oh. Ring of Wolf. Protects from death unless strength is 1. Studded pommel. Knockback on strength of attacks 5. A heavy pommel adds a little weight to your attacks when you want some extra heft in your swing. Comb of the... Ooh, even the goddess will hesitate to strike down the Loon Mother's chosen fool. And a medallion worn around the neck of some Rotval to remind themselves of their worth as warriors. So protection from death is actually pretty sweet, because that could keep you safe. Even the godless will hesitate to strike down the Loon Mother's chosen few. That's cool, because you can stop them coming after. Okay, but knockback. I can't see knockback actually helping us too much. So let's actually just buy... we're going to buy as many supplies as we can, because supplies seem to be a bit of a problem for us right now. They really do. And let's check on our heroes, but I think we've already leveled everyone. Yep. Okay, sorted. Right then, so let's leave. You're only just outside the village when 2 men in red approach. My name is Hogan, says one, gesturing to the other. My brother is Mogum. Many from the village wish to join you to Frostvella. A third man, exuding rage, charges up to the group. Shut your mouth, Hogan, he screams. Oh dear. Looks like we got some trouble. What's going on? Those bastards don't speak to us. They've been trying to divide the village since you got here. True, you can keep whoever wants to stay and die. The rest of us will go with the reasonable people of Skogir. I'll have you both gutted before I let half the town desert. Behind the angry villager, a mob of armed thugs have appeared, all furrowed brows and nervous stares. You both know what will happen to the rest of us if the fields are abandoned. Nobody leaves. Huh. There won't be anything left to tend once the dredge arrive. Dredge my ass! I don't know what the scam is this time, Hogum, but you've got two choices. Get back to work or I'm finally putting you in the ground. Mogum, what do you say? Thought it was unfair that he only asked me. Mogum draws his axe slowly, followed by Hogun. Despite their confidence, the brothers are significantly outnumbered. I think I make a poor farmer. Ivor, let's make this a fair fight. We will side with the brothers. We will take Hogum and Mogum. Ivor steps forward. The thugs hesitate. As you pull out your axe, you notice that Alette is nowhere to be seen. Right, what do these guys actually do? Thrasher and Thrasher. They're both Thrashers. What does the Thrasher do? Multiple attacks, each doing 1 strength or 1 armor. And they have shield walls. Is that the case for both of them? So Hogum gets shield wall. And Mogum gets shield wall. Okay, so double shield wall is actually going to be very strong. So we're actually going to put them right up front. Because having them kind of stand there as a bunch is going to be real strong, real good. We'll get a nice kind of strong forward fighting front, I hope. So this dude back here is actually going to be a problem. So we're going to dispatch someone to take him out really quickly. So what we're going to do is something like this. So we can see they've got some archers down here that we need to pop off right away. And then we can kind of put our shield wall nice and forward. And then from here... So who's actually going to go first? It will be him. Okay. And he will go second. So by then we will have Hogum and Mogum moved up. And we will be able to actually slam this dude quite heavily. So we'll end his turn. This dude's definitely going to try and hit our dude. That's okay. So we will be able to move here. And then we should be able to bloody flail this dude. That gives us, you know, a pretty strong hit, taking him down piece by piece. And then, ooh, moving out. Interesting. Well, that means we'll just take this dude out nice and simple. So we'll just go smash. There we go. One dude done. Okay, so they've got a pair of archers. Ooh, do they have 3 break? Or they just have 1 break, but they have some kind of strength to them. We can see the town leader has a Thrasher, and they have 2 archers. Okay, so we need to force these guys into moving, or they'll get bonus damage on our very nice and strong dudes. Okay, so who's going up next? So we actually want to get that shield wall bonus. Because we are going to have more archers firing at us. It will happen. So he moves up, but you can't... Ooh, managed to get a couple hits in. That actually shreds his armor in return. And then we can... Ooh, we can actually go here and we'll get hits on both of them. There we go. The archers are moving. They certainly are, and they're spending their... Ooh, they're spending their influence. But here we go. So we can actually break this dude's shield, or hit him with our special, which will get him shot as well. So let's do that. Bonk. Ba-chonk. Doesn't do that much, though. Oh, and he's trying to... Oh. Oh, well, that's not very nice of him. But we're moving up to kind of form the tree line. We can actually just kind of move up like this. That'll just keep our fighter there nice and hearty. Oh. So Ivor's in a spot of bother. So we're going to move here so we can start wailing on the archers. Bonk. Oh dear. Right. What can we do here? Let's see. We can hit here. That'll get the Thrasher injured nicely because he's got a lot of his shield already gone. So that's actually pretty solid. Moving up, taking on more Thrashers. So they seem to have outfoxed me for the moment. That is a problem. Their archers are doing some real good work. But we'll be able to take out one of the archers here. No! God damn it. I wanted to do... Just spend one little heart, and that would have been fine. Alright, here we spend 2. That takes out that Thrasher. But that one right there should be gone. Bonk. Bonk, but then you get hit for 1. Yep. And we can hit you for 3. Pew! Which means we should be able to, if we use Rook to mark him as a target, we should be able to get a kill there. Whoop. Because then we can mark prey. And then, yep. Attack on all sides. And then these guys really can only injure armor at this point, because otherwise they're goners. There we go. Pillage! You don't need to have a turn, you can rest, because there we go. Bonk, strong arm, splash. Victory is ours! Tempered by blood. Ivor is ready for promotion. Injured. Eagle has been injured. Damn it, Eagle. Don't you do this to me, Eagle. Continue. So we need to give Eagle some more armor. The brothers thank you with wide grins. Soon many of the villagers have joined your caravan. You scan around anxiously for Alette, who's gone missing when the fighting began. Eventually you find her watching from afar. Hogan returns at that moment, introducing you to his son and wife. See, we made the right choice. And you set out again. Ooh, 165 clansmen and 22 fighters. And 10 renown. So that's actually pretty good then. And our morale's gone up. Alette marches quietly alongside the caravan, a little distant since leaving the village. When you stop for rest, Oddleaf approaches you both. Alette, I have something for you. Oddleaf has gathered up the long banner from the caravan and smiles warmly as she passes it to Alette. What's this about? I was hoping you'd sew up the banner with everything that has happened since we left Skogir. Come find me another time, Rook. We'll talk. Before you can comment, she departs. Da? Are you the chieftain now? I guess. It looks that way. Oh. Then that means... You're both quiet for a moment while Alette unfurls the banner. Oddleaf has been teaching me how to sew. She speaks pretty highly of you. Can we read the part about Mum? You nod. On the banner has been sewn the story of the families who have lived in Skogir throughout the years, just as it is on every banner in town. Every banner in every town. I wish she were here, but I'm kind of glad that she isn't. The section of the banner about your family is short, but Alette has been sewing in colourful designs. What? Why do you say that? So she doesn't have to deal with all this dredge, leaving home, and... Why did you have to kill those men in the village? I mean, if it's okay to ask. They would have killed others. But how do you know which ones are bad? Because the dredge are terrifying. Every time we have to fight them, I just want to run, but I don't want to kill a person. Please. Are you mad at me? You might have to someday. I guess I would do it if I really had to. But do we have to? I know what you mean. Yeah, I know, Dad. I think you're doing a good job. She hugs you. You spend the rest of your time together, sewing new verses into the banner, for better or worse. The story of the Shoggoth is your burden now. We are the chieftain. The chieftain has fallen. Long live the new chieftain. Oh, and if we can look at heroes, we can see we're actually injured. So we need to rest in battle, rest in town to level that up. And we need to up Ivor. So we need to give him that. Oh yeah, we need to give him that strong arm, so that we can give him this, making his armor like ludicrously high, 19 now. So the strategy with any fight is going to be throw him headfirst into the fight, like straight off the bat. And we need to rest. The morale's gone up. And we used a bit of supplies, but we're still injured, so we're going to rest one more time. Now we have great morale. We've basically spent a whole day camping out. And this, the thinking here is, I mean, we're running away from the dredge, but we've gone through that town, and half of them stayed there. So they're going to be there. They're going to be acting as a bulwark. Besides, we have to kind of make sure everyone's used to us being the chieftain. Alright, let's go speak to Odleaf. How are you doing, Ode? I'm alright. Not at first. Sometimes when a loved one dies, people say it doesn't sink in for a while. It sunk in right away for me. People tell me I'm a strong woman. It's funny, my father named me Odleaf before I was even born. He wanted a boy so badly. Strong woman. What does that even mean? Huh. I never cared for that expression. You're a strong person. I feel nothing about my husband dying. People think I'm strong. If I cry because my insides feel like they're on fire, I'm weak. Why does that feel so backwards? I'm sorry, Rook. It's been hard. You're not sure what to say. In the many years since you've known the chieftain's wife, this is probably the most you've ever talked. You asked me to come find you. Yes, it's about the banner. I thought about it a long time. He asked me to give it to you, you know, if something happened. What would you have done? That's what I've been thinking about so much. It should be mine. I could carry it. But I thought about why he named you. I get it. They wouldn't follow a woman. Families would leave. Our banner would be divided. I would vouch for you. Come on, Rook. This isn't the time for pretend. It's not just about our small town. What happens the first time we need something from another clan? How will that go? The first time someone thinks they can take advantage of us. I think this is what has to happen. I rely on you. I'll be there when I can. Just don't expect any miracles. Listen, I know I dragged this out. The truth is, my husband and I could never have a child. I don't want our banner to end here. It'll be safe with you and Alette. I know you're going to take care of her. She puts her hand on your shoulder as she heads back to the camp. Morale improved. Oh yeah. Extra renown. Okay, we need to set off. Because we've camped too long now. The dredge are going to catch up to us and we'll be in deep doo-doo. Deep, deep doo-doo. At a small split in the trail, a few fighters stop to speak with you, each carrying a single pack. We recognize this place, one man says. Spent several years here with some kin. If they're still around, we have to warn them of what's coming. With luck, we'll find you again in less than a week. So you can send them off. Send them with extra supplies. Remind them that they're free to do as they please. You think you'll survive out there on your own? Or tell them they're needed. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to see them off with extra supplies. We've actually got 10 days of supplies, and I think we only need 7 days of supplies to get to where we're heading to. We've got great morale. Everyone's looking good. And if we send them with extra supplies, they're going to go find their kin. They might be able to travel with their kin to get back to us, maybe? Maybe? I'm gonna take that risk, and I'm gonna send them off with extras. If that's all you're taking, you may never make it, you say, grabbing a few items from a supply wagon. You strap the additional provisions to their backs. Search for family instead of food, you say with a smile. The men clasp wrists with you before departing. Go, my brothers, go. We lost a couple of fighters though. But we got renown. Renown's good. Complaints of Raffinier's excessive drinking have resurfaced. This time the man stumbled over some tent ropes, pulled the snag canvas through a campfire, nearly setting a supply wagon aflame. Clansmen put out the fire on both the wagon and Rosvat's leg before leading him to you. This man drinks nothing but water from now on. Rosvat's groggily agrees, slurring his way through promises to quit being such a nuisance. Many of the onlookers snort or roll their eyes, but go back to their business. Somehow you doubt it'll be long before Rattenvater manages to find another drink, whether you allow it or not. Dredge! Shouts a man from the back of the caravan. It's Raffensvatir, the unabashed drunk, staggering towards you, looking not entirely sober. He screams again. Pointing to the trees in the distance, fear races through the caravan as fighters pull their weapons. Scouts return with no sightings, and furious men surround Raffensvatir. Ready yourself against the dredge, just in case. We're really close to Frostvilla now. Really close. That looks like less than a day's travel. No. He's shouting, Dredge. We need to ready ourselves just in case. It is better to be safe and sorry on the word of a drunk than to not heed a warning and find yourself the fool. There'll be time for that later, you tell the men. For now, we take no chances. A full day of uneasy rest passes with no sign of Dredge. The caravan is annoyed by the scare and the delay. Eventually, Raffensvatir bursts into laughter, and you're sure there never were any Dredge. Not long after, Raffensvatir goes missing. Nobody searches for him, or seems to mind. But we wasted supplies, and our morale declined. A lot. And we lost one clansman.
Once a strong, thriving city, the walls of Frostvellir now just keep the howling winds at bay. With luck, they'll hold out against Dredge as well.
Ah, nice strong walls. We found ourselves here a nice safe haven, where we can live and survive against the fucking Dredge that press against us on all sides. You jostle through follow crowds of sunken faces who appear as though they've been freezing in at the front of Frostvilla for days. The gates are closed. You come to a stop at the bottom of the hill. This is not looking good. Why are there so many people in the fields? We can't stay outside in the open like this. Oddleif finds you amongst the many refugees. Rook, I just talked to some of the women here. Nobody is being let into the city. Why? It's overrun with Val from Bloodsblicker, Greyhorn, people from Beatra. All the nearby villages, the Dredge, are everywhere. And the chieftain of Frostvilla has locked himself in his great hall. That's when they close the gates. When the Dredge come, these hills will turn red. We have to get in there. We're getting in the walls somehow. I want to know more about what's going on in there. I see a lot of people gathered around the rest houses and the gates. We could find out what they know. How would we get in anyway? They closed the gate. I can get that gate open. Let's see if there's another way before we start breaking down gates. I wasn't going to break it, just push really hard. Oh, Ivor. You'd get filled full of arrows quicker than you could say, "Ooh, that's an arrow." Everyone's nicely leveled, so there ain't nothing what we got going for us there. There is a market. Let's see if we can get some fancy items. This ring was once worn by the great kings of men to symbolize the unification of his people. Ah, even the godless will hesitate, and the fragments of a shattered dredge obsidian, carefully ground to a powder. It will sometimes explode when applied to a weapon. So this one actually is pretty good, but you have to be level 5 to use it. But 2 strength resist is pretty good. And that means there's basically 2 less damage you'll ever take. So let's... and +1 will per kill means you can burn through your kind of... But we don't have anyone like Gunulf, who's really strong and good at smashing. Yet. I will hold off spending any of my hard-earned cash just yet. Oh, actually, I do want to buy some supplies. Get me back up to 10. There we go. I've still got more than 21 renown, so that's good for me. Oh, actually, I've bought everything. Jeez. Okay. Let's go to... rest? You spend a whole day in the rest houses. Everyone gives you the same story. The chieftain just shut himself in his great hall and closed the gates. There are a lot of wounded people here, adds Celette. We could help them. Egil pulls you aside. I followed outside the city walls, and there's a water passage we could squeeze through, I think. Not the whole caravan. But if a handful of us gets in, we might open the gates from the inside. Huh. Check out the water passage. I'm not fitting through there, says Ivor when you arrive at the Narrow Ducks. Go without me. It looks like you'll get on top of the walls, and then down to the gate where you can open it. I have a bad feeling about this. Let's go back. You don't learn much more. A gathering of people catches your attention. Let's head to the gate. You approach the gate, where hundreds of people are gathered. In the trodden, bloody space in front of the doors, several pincushion bodies lie, unclaimed, as though they simply belonged there. Archers up on the walls make it clear that nobody will be getting in. Men and women below intermittently call for mercy and reason when they're not flinging stones and curses. Shout at the guards on the wall. We're from Skogir! Open the gates! You shout up to the archers, not expecting much. You get as much response as you expected. Okay. Ivor, did you really expect to push those gates open? I'm willing to give it a try, Ivor grunts. Despite sizing up the doors and the men that look like they can hold... Let's try that one again. Despite sizing up doors that look like they could hold back an army, and when men start shooting arrows and pouring out to stop you, then you kill them, he says. You're not sure this sounds like the most sound plan? We're not doing this. This is a terrible idea, you say. We don't even know how many there are. Ivor folds his arms. He seems to be almost relieved that he didn't have to live up to his earlier boast. Find out more from the crowd. He spent an hour talking to people who all have the same story. A couple of days ago, the chieftain shut himself in. They closed the gates and refused any more refugees. They've got huge stores of supplies in there too, adds one man. They're just hoarding them. Yeah. We're not going to find anything here then. You leave the crowds and head back down the hill. There are a lot of people gathered at the rest houses, says Oddleif, pointing. Maybe we can find help there, or at least make ourselves useful. Okay, so let's go to the rest houses. And tend to the wounded. Alette and Oddleif spend the day along with others in your caravan treating wounds, most of which came from the archers at the gates. I overheard from one woman that the city has been sending carts with food around, Oddleif tells you. Could be a way in, Ivor replies. Next time they send a cart, we bring it back in. Oddleif protests. Aside from leading to a fight, it would probably mean no more food from the refugees. We'll wait and confront them. It might not lead to a fight. Keep your sword down until we need it, you tell Ivor. We'll make a deal unless they're looking for a fight. Early the next day, you spot another cart leaving the gates of the city. After they've thrown their scraps to the refugees, you approach. Oh? Stop. My friend wanted to talk with you. It's not what I wanted. I think I can guess why. If we knew there were more fighters than Varl out here, Ikil might have brought you into the city. Who's Ikil? He's in charge up there. In charge of what? Better let him explain. Fine, let's go. He nods. You follow him back up to the gates, where they open the doors for you. A man clad in black approaches you as you step inside. Ah, yeah. Oh. Ho 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 ho, Ikil, you look like an angry fellow. What in the depths is this? Says Ikil. The man orders his guards to get the doors closed again before more refugees notice. You said you wanted fighters. You heard about the chieftain? We heard he's hiding out in the Great Hall. Oh, really? You think you mean hiding out in a grave? He's eating worms, if that wasn't clear. What happened in there? Oh, hang on, that's not either. What happened in there? As soon as they heard Dredge were coming, anyone who couldn't swing an axe got one to the head. That's the short story anyway. At least 3 clans in here warring over turf and food. And the worst are the god-forsaken Varl. He eyes Ivor and shrugs with exaggeration, as though simply stating the obvious. We're in more danger here than out there. Look, I was in charge before things went to crap. You've got some people who can fight, you've got your own Varl. That counts for something. I can keep your flock safe in the Great Hall. You fight for me, and to take back Frostweller. I don't take sides. Too hard to tell when the good guys have become the bad. Fine, cut these sheep loose and watch your own asses. What do I care? All I want to do right now is get out of the damn streets. Think carefully about what you want. We'll fend for ourselves inside Frostweller. We'll join you for now. We're not staying here, let us out. We'll fend for ourselves inside Frostweller. You can feel Ikil sizing you up on the spot, his hand hovering near his axe. He snorts through his nose, changing his mind. Good luck then. Hope we don't meet again, fighting for the same scraps. With the gates closed, Ikil and his men disappear down dark alleyways. Hope we know what we're doing. Making up as we go along, Ivor.